21st edition of the FIFA World Cup will be aired live on Bermuda Broadcasting Company. Be a part of the history. You don't want to miss FIFA World Cup 2018.
You can count on us.
Fresh Florida strawberries only $5.99 for a 1-pound package. Fresh Purdue chicken thighs or drumsticks only $1.99 per pound. DiGiorno pizzas 12 inches, hot price $8 each. Bluebonnet margarine sticks 1-pound box only $1.69. Ajax 2X laundry detergent 50-ounce bottle only $5.69. All stores open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Friday, February the 2nd, 2018. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. Nothing personal. It's all about the product. That's how Kevin Dallas, Bermuda Tourism Authority CEO, describes the recent restructuring of the Bermuda Tourism Authority, which saw 3 Bermudians made redundant. Gary Moreno spoke with Mr. Dallas today and tells us more in this report.
Mr. Dallas remains adamant the changes made at the BTA are meant to modernize the structure of the 4-year-old organization. This in an effort to improve efficiency and return on investment. The changes, he points out, have enabled the BTA to create new capabilities which are needed and have resulted in a net increase in jobs and new roles which he hopes will be filled by Bermudians. But the 3 individuals made redundant last week were all Bermudian.
Is there another policy in the Bermuda Tourism Authority that Bermudians should come first, their interests should be looked at first?
Absolutely, Bermuda should come first, and actually what we have to put first is generating the highest possible ROI for all of Bermuda. So we certainly have a policy of Bermudians first in our employment, but our overall goal has to be to deliver the highest ROI we possibly can for Bermuda. We're accountable to Bermuda to do that. So we have to have the most efficient structure we can in order to deliver the best possible result for Bermuda.
As we've reported, one of those workers let go brought in close to $13 million in sales for the BTA. That's not a small return on investment by any measure. Mr. Dallas agrees, but says times have changed, and that meant a new approach to sales was needed.
When we look at how our sales process and sales model was working, what we saw was that increasingly closing opportunities, the right opportunities for Bermuda, was about whether or not we had the right research, insight, and intelligence about those opportunities to be able to respond to them quickly and route them to the right hotel partner to close that opportunity for Bermuda. So we saw a gap in our capability to deliver research and intelligence for sales.
And that's not all.
Despite the fact that the majority of the opportunity that we see in sales was actually inbound opportunity where what we really need to do is research, qualify, and respond to those, our sales organization was heavy on what I would call field execution. So people out at conferences trying to generate new opportunities. The second is because we had sports tourism dispersed around the organization, what we saw was an opportunity by bringing it together to be more efficient and make some savings.
2 of the individuals let go were reportedly instrumental in creating the sports tourism plan for the BTA. A suggestion Mr. Dallas says is debatable. However,
we've created a new role which is going to be Director of Sports Tourism. And that is a fantastic opportunity to be filled by a Bermudian. One of those 2 individuals, or either of those individuals, might be a great candidate for that role. And because all the individuals involved in this reorganization left the BTA in good standing, they are very welcome to apply for those roles. But we want to make sure that we get the best qualified applicant, and we want to open that opportunity as widely as possible, and we want to be as transparent and fair in that process as we can be.
It remains unclear whether the Ministry of Tourism and Economic Development, which provides funding for the BTA, supports the restructuring effort, but sources there say a close watch is being kept on these developments, with possible changes to the way in which the Quango operates reportedly being considered. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
In other news, the victim of a hit-and-run accident in broad daylight incident in the middle of East Broadway traffic is tonight appealing for the culprit to turn himself in to police. As Jasmine Patterson tells us, there were no injuries. However, it's unknown who will pay the $800 bill for damages to the taxi operator's vehicle.
It was an ordinary day for Winston Henry out driving his fare to their destination until a bike struck his vehicle in the middle of a busy north roundabout on Crow Lane.
When I got to the giveaway sign, I looked to my right and there was a bike all the way up by the bus stop, which gave me enough time to cross over. I continued to cross over and all of a sudden I'm going around the corner to the roundabout and I heard a bang in the back, right in the back of my taxi at the side. That was kind of surprising to me because, I didn't expect that.
Mr. Henry checked to make sure the rider was not injured badly, but his response took him by surprise.
I said, "What happened?" He said, "Well, I couldn't stop the bike because I don't have any brakes. I didn't have any brakes." I said, "Then why are you riding the bike? You shouldn't be riding the bike."
It was at this time that the rider decides to escape the crime scene, and fast.
He was picking up the bike and trying to start the bike. Finally, he got the bike to start, and I said to him, "Don't move the bike because the police is on his way." And all of a sudden, he just got on the bike and rode off up Tringham Hill, and off he went. He did it so fast, wasn't able to get the number of the bike.
As a cab driver, he sees this sort of behavior often.
But his age might be between 18 and maybe 20, within that area, so he's white, so it's unfortunate that it happened, but it did happen, and this is the type of stuff that you see every day out here on the road, Nobody seems to want to stop anymore. Nobody wants to slow down these signs, which is crazy. Something needs to be done, and something needs to be done real fast.
The damages to the taxi's exterior are well into the several hundreds.
I have an estimate here with me, and it's $810. That's the cost to repair the damage. That's a lot of money. And I believe he should be responsible for it.
Police officers are using CCTV cameras in the area to identify the rider. However, nothing is promised.
I'm hoping that if even this gentleman, if he's seen this thing, I'm hoping that he will turn himself in. That would be the correct thing to do. The officer who came to the scene of the accident, he was a very nice, pleasant young man, PC painter, and I think he might want to get in touch with him. Not particularly me. I think the right place is to do is to turn himself to the police.
Mr. Henry is praying that the young man who did the damage will find a conscience. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
In court news, a police officer was charged today in Magistrates Court with wounding a man appearing during plea court. 39-year-old Smith's resident and BPS officer Oswin Pereira pleaded not guilty to unlawfully wounding Talunde Grant on May the 13th of last year. Magistrate Tyrone Chin granted the defendant bail in the amount of $2,000 with a like surety and ordered him not to contact the complainant. He is due to reappear in court on February the 26th. Meanwhile, a 42-year-old Sands man denies sexually assaulting a 17-year-old girl on August the 17th last year in Sands Parish. We are not able to publish the name of the defendant due to legal constrictions. He was bailed in the amount of $5,000 with a like surety and is due to reappear in court on February the 28th. Stay with us. More news in tonight's AccuWeather forecast after the break.
Price Rate is your one-stop shop with something for everyone. Household goods for kitchen, bedroom, and bathroom. Aisles of bulk groceries at value prices. A complete selection of fresh meat and produce. And an extensive range of frozen items to cover every meal. Wines from around the world and beer and liquor at discount prices. Visit Price Right at our 2 locations in Pembroke and Warren. There's always something new and always something for everyone.
The whole concept came from the collaboration with BF&M and the America's Cup. The Endeavour programme is the legacy of the 35th America's Cup that was here in Bermuda in June. And we've continued the charity now operating in Bermuda. And going forward, we thought, what a great opportunity for children on the autism spectrum. And hence we actually developed the No Limits programme. They really do benefit from this kind of outdoor experience, this environment. Just yesterday going off the east end of Bermuda. They wouldn't have done that. Not many children in Bermuda have done that. And just them learning to take control of a large bit of transportation that they're doing at that age, and they may never get that opportunity.
That's where you see the biggest progress is whether they were looking at their hand steering, it's Now they're looking forward and actually looking where they're going, because they've realized, oh, I know where my hand is. I can do this without looking at my hand.
We are so grateful for the Endeavor program and what it has done for the students on the autism spectrum.
Your home, your life, security. Be fire and burglar free. Right from your phone, monitor, control. Lock safes, doors, gates, business, family safe. You're on the go, and that's okay. BSG with you every
Bermuda Security Group, your security, life safety, and monitoring experts. We're with you every step of the way. Bermuda Security Group, BSG.BM.
Well, welcome back. As we've seen through the media, flu levels are still rising, and this year has hit people particularly hard. We found out that even though some areas in the U.S. are running short of vaccine, it's not too late yet for us to get the flu shot locally. Fever, chills, sore throat, muscle aches, to name just a few. The Department of Health here in Bermuda reports levels of flu are above normal and needs to be taken seriously. An update today from the Centers for Disease Control, the CDC in the U.S., said the flu outbreak is responsible for at least 53 child deaths so far this season, and hospitalizations are now the highest they've seen. This year's flu season is already the most widespread on record since health officials began keeping track 13 years ago. This season, the predominant strain is also the nastiest, H3N2, which causes some of the worst outbreaks. Those who are particularly hard hit are the very young, the elderly, and people with certain chronic health conditions. Health professionals continue to recommend that people get flu shots, even though the vaccine's effectiveness is lower than in some years. Researchers reported Thursday that this year's flu vaccine is less than 20% effective against the most dominant strain of the virus, but the vaccine still offers some protection and can reduce the severity of illness if you do get infected, and also protect from other strains of flu, according to the experts. So with the news that the flu shot may reduce the severity of symptoms, reduce hospitalizations, and reduce the general spread of flu, the Department of Health on Island recommends getting the flu shot. Fortunately, there's still time to get your flu shot at the Hamilton Health Center on Victoria Street, or perhaps from your private physician. The flu shot costs $10 for both adults, children aged 3 and up. You can visit the Hamilton Health Center on Victoria Street Monday to Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. or on Wednesdays from 2 to 4 p.m. In the meantime, doctors advise wash your hands frequently, cover your coughs and sneezes, and stay home if you're sick to help stop the spread of the virus. In other news, organizers of one of the island's key public fitness events are encouraging people to sign up and open up their hearts and wallets for a good cause. The annual Lindos to Lindos family run and walking event, taking place on Sunday the 4th of March, will be in aid of the Bermuda Diabetes Association. Last year, the Lindos to Lindos event raised $25,000 for the association. Sarah Bastanoia, the diabetes educator at the association, says events like these are crucial for the survival of her charity.
We've been absolutely delighted with the partnership that we've been enjoying with many years now with Lindos for this walk, and not only for the walk but throughout the year. I think it's a great embodiment of what Lindos promotes: healthy lifestyles, healthy eating, and this walk is a very doable family-sized walk. We get lots of patients with diabetes come out and do it. We get family members come out and do it. It's a very achievable walk, that distance between Lindos to Lindos, and obviously for our diabetes, we're promoting physical activity with type 2 diabetes. It tremendously helps people's blood sugars. For all of us, in terms of prevention and management of diabetes, exercise is so important, and this is a great combination.
Is the occurrence of diabetes in Bermuda just getting worse?
I think this year, as you know, we've worked very hard with government initiatives, the Department of Health, our recent Diabetes and Obesity Symposium. Our goal is to halt the rise of obesity and diabetes. It might be years before we look to reverse those numbers, but we're just trying to stop the rise, because I think until we have somewhat of a national database where we know exactly what our numbers are, the numbers are probably higher than we estimate. Are they growing every year? I'd like to think that we see people living well with diabetes now. We'd like in 2018 to feel that there is hope, and that there's, if people find out what they have to do, that if you have family members with diabetes and you're checked for diabetes and screened early enough. Prevention is our aim, really, and we're looking to reduce the prevalence of diabetes and help those who have diabetes live well.
Giorgio Zanol, the president of the Lindos group of companies, is well known for his athleticism, having run marathons, his athletic ability, having run marathons around the world, as Troy Trott found out today. He shows no signs of slowing down.
And you're still active, looks like it.
Oh, yes, I'm still running. Yesterday I was with a friend of mine. He picked me up and we went to the dunes up Orsu Bay. So we ran for an hour up and down the dunes. I tell you, it's a big workout. But then I took my blood pressure, and my pressure was 117/77 or something like that. So hey, that's pretty good. I like that. Lindos group of company are very proud, the whole family and staff, very proud to be associated with the Diabetic Association. And we are trying to, especially now, that they bought a building and they have to remodel, and it takes money. So we are very proud to be part of it.
And be sure to watch our Tuesday night newscast when Earl Baisden will feature more of Mr. Zanol's comments on the annual Lindos to Lindos event, including the history of it all. Turning to weather news, mostly cloudy with a few showers possible for the weekend. Here's the latest from AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you this AccuWeather forecast, and we are preparing for some extra showers as we take a look at the big picture. There's some dry air to our east, but look to our west. A stripe of moisture is approaching, tied to a front. So here we are in Bermuda, kind of awaiting that increase in moisture. Satellite estimated rainfall, not much going on locally yet, but you can see that stripe of rain beginning to emerge about halfway between the Carolina coast and our real estate here in the western Atlantic. So humidity is around 75%, upper 60s, 68, 69 degrees in most areas right now. Water temp is holding at 65, no changes since yesterday in that regard. Waves on the inside 2 to 3 feet. On the outside, it is pretty active. That stiff southwest wind or south-southwest wind is producing waves of 5 to 9 feet out there right now, and that'll be the case through most of the overnight hours as well. So tonight we'll go partly cloudy and breezy, but a few showers will emerge and they'll roll through the area later tonight. We'll get down to around 58 degrees for your low. Then tomorrow, we're on track for 63, a mix of clouds and some sunshine. We'll have a few brief showers in the area. It doesn't look like an all-day washout, even though there will be a front in the area. And you'll notice a big drop in temperature from 69 down to around 63 for tomorrow. When we take a look at the tide chart here, we do want to mention the small craft warning in effect through Sunday. It's choppy out there, and that warning is up for good reason. So there was a high tide around 9:39, most recently a low tide not long ago around 4:13 p.m. Next high tide coming up at 10:04 tonight, and the early risers will have a low tide at 4:21 a.m. Most of us will still be asleep. Not everybody, though. Let's take a look at that gateway forecast. We have some snow and snow showers into Toronto. New York, a nice winter day. It's cold out there in New York and Boston. Sunshine, at least some clouds into New York, but we're running a bit colder than the norm. Atlanta struggling at 49. Miami looks okay. Some showers will be out there, though, but temperature-wise it's at least comfortable. And in London we're around 41 degrees. So current conditions across the Caribbean, scattered showers pretty common in many areas here. We're dealing with a pretty nasty trade wind flow. Maybe nasty is overstated, but it is very active out there, and that is producing bigger waves, small craft advisories for many of the islands, small craft warning here, and also the concern of some rip currents for the swimmers over the next couple of days. So we'll go with some scattered showers as this front pushes through. You'll notice the temperatures drop to 63 on Saturday. We begin to rebound temperature-wise back up to near 71, so close to where we started today into Sunday and Monday, close to 70. Showers taper off Tuesday and Wednesday. We look better. Temperature still near 70. Lows will be a little cool Saturday night, but we'll rebound nicely back into the mid-60s for our overnight lows. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll check back in with you sometime soon.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
Are you required to take one or more medications daily but have a hard time remembering when to take them? Does your family fear you may end up in the hospital because you often forget to take your meds? Or are you a caregiver looking for a time management tool designed to make your medication routine effortless? The Phoenix stores can help. With an MDS blister pack, a multi-dose packaging system that makes it easier to manage and take your medication. Each MDS blister pack contains medications for the week and is pre-packed, sealed, and labeled by a pharmacist. Prescriptions grouped by the day and the time of day you should take them, whether at breakfast, lunch, dinner, or bedtime. Plus, to ensure you're covered, each pack includes detailed, personalized instruction. Take confidence in knowing you're using your medications as the doctor planned. Visit the Phoenix stores to chat with the pharmacist and get your MDS blister pack today. The Phoenix stores, for a better life.
Francis C. Richardson, a marine engineer with 25 years of service to the Bermuda government, will join the Bermuda Shipping and Maritime Authority as Chief Executive Officer. He assumes the role effective April the 9th and will also serve on the new authority's board of directors. His appointment has been welcomed by Chairperson Paul Scope. Now here's Earl Basden with tonight's sports report.
Delray Rollins has been included in the MCC lineup to take on county champions Essex in the annual first-class champion county match, which this year is taking place in Barbados. Emerging Sussex talent Rollins, who started for England's under-19s in early 2017 with both bat and left-arm spin, is included as an all-rounder. Well, the Bermuda Cricket Board confirmed that the cutoff date for selected national squad players has been revised to February 12th for the upcoming tour to Argentina. The date is a significant one as it allows footballers to play up until that cutoff date. The date applicable for the ICC World Cricket League 4 competition in Malaysia will be April 2nd. The revision was made at the BCB executive meeting on January 31st following a recommendation from the High Performance Committee and consultation with national squad coaching staff. Kyle Webb represented Purdue track and field during the Fred Wilt Invitational hosted by Purdue University. In the 400-meter dash, Webb finished third, clocking a time of 48.91. Webb also ran the third leg for the Purdue men's 4x400-meter relay team that ran to victory with a time of 3:13.88. Lindos Group of Companies announced that the 2018 Lindos to Lindos race will take place on Sunday, March 4th. The route between Lindos Family Foods in Warwick and Lindos Market in Devonshire will see participants walk 4 miles or run 10K between the two landmark stores. Bermuda Netball Association has announced a zone netball weekend, which is set to take place at Bernard Park this coming Saturday, tomorrow, February 3rd. The under-12 games will get underway at 2 p.m. and will run till 3:30, with the under-16 zone games running from 3:30 to 5 p.m. The senior games will take place from 5 till 6:30. MS Emlyn AG Bermuda branch, a global reinsurer with offices in Bermuda, announced its title sponsorship of the ITU World Triathlon Series, which will take place in Bermuda on April 28th. The event is being branded as the MS Emlyn World Triathlon Bermuda. The prestigious ITU event in Bermuda is the second of 8 stops of the World Triathlon Series circuit before the finals are held in September of this year. Superstars of elite triathlon will descend on the capital of the Emirates this March to kick off the 2018 World Triathlon Series in Abu Dhabi. Race organizers confirming that some of the most highly decorated athletes in the sport will compete between March 2nd and 3rd. In the women's field, 2-time world champion Bermudian Flora Duffy will toe the line, along with the full podium from last season that include Aussie Alicia Gentile and Aussie Alicia Gentile and American Katie Zaffris. In weekend football action at the PHC Stadium tomorrow, February 3rd at 3 p.m. In Premier Division play, the PHC Zebras will host North Village Rams. On Saturday night, Flanagan's Onions will host Social Club at BAA Field. On Sunday in Premier Division play, it will be Dendy Town Hornets taking on the Somerset Trojans at St. John's Field with a 3 p.m. kickoff. At Lords and St. David's, the Boulevard Blazers will host Crossroads, and Robin Hood will entertain Devonshire Cougars at the BAA Field. In First Division play, St. David's will host Island Rangers at 12:30 at Lord's. BAA will host Devonshire Colts at BAA Field. Somerset Eagles are at home to Hamilton Parish at Whitehill Field. St. George's Colts will entertain Paget Lions at the Wellington Oval. And at Southampton Oval, Southampton Rangers will entertain Wolves. In second spring senior bowling league action inside the Warwick Lanes, it saw the Islanders go down 3-1 to the newcomers. The Pin Splitters defeated the Last Pins 4-0, while Last Minutes defeated Old and Kicking 4-0. The Blue Angels went down 4-0 to the Drifters. As we all know, this coming Sunday, the biggest football game of the year will take place in Minnesota as will take on the Philadelphia Eagles. While fans are hoping the game shapes up to be a thrilling one, there's not just a Super Bowl title at stake. There's a lot of money up for grabs too. Tony Waterman breaks down the economics of Super Bowl 52.
We got a battle tonight, a winner take all, ain't nothing like Sunday night football.
When it comes to sports and money, American football is king. And across Bermuda, thousands will be glued to the Super Bowl this Sunday. The NFL is the richest sports league in the world. The average team worth $2.5 billion and has an operating profit of over $100 million. This Sunday is the Sunday of all Sundays.
Go Eagles, baby! Patriots!
More than 100 million Americans are expected to tune in for Super Bowl 52, making it the most watched TV program of the year. And because of that, NBC can charge big bucks for ads.
Hey, Melissa, the whales need your help.
I love whales!
A 30-second spot will set you back more than $5 million. To put that in perspective, a similar ad during the last game of the 2016 World Series only cost $500,000.
Why? Because you can.
Big brands like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Budweiser are expected to pony up for another year. The human workhorses aren't left out of the money-making either. Each player on the winning team gets a $112,000 bonus. The losers win too, pocketing $56K. The only one not making money, halftime performer Justin Timberlake. Yeah, you heard right. The NFL doesn't pay halftime performers. But with a 50-yard line view of the most important sporting event of the year, gotta say, Tony Waterman.
but